with the fail of games like currently Naruto Storm Connections, what I feel like is gonna be the fail of Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash, and now we're getting a new Hunter x Hunter game, which I feel like looks like a PS2 game in my opinion. I feel like for these past 5 years or a decade, the anime games has been failing us, and I'll tell you exactly why. But if you want to hear more things like this, we're talking about games, anime, or superhero things, make sure to slap a like. And I'm here to tell you why I think anime games are low-key failing us forever. So, if you haven't seen my last video, the Dragon Ball Breakers video, it's a perfect example of why I feel like these games are kind of failing us. These games are pretty unoptimized. They stop caring about it after the first few months, and even games that have a pretty high value when it comes to effort and all these other things, even they're not getting things. Like currently, I'm not lying to you. On PC, Naruto Storm Connections have like 105 players currently playing, which I think is currently sad. And main reason is it has like half the things that Naruto Storm 4 has. As I'm recording this on like January 19th, it still doesn't have friend fights, custom battles, spectator lobbies, none of that things. And it makes the game kind of down slope. Now, I'm not the biggest person on exactly of what happened. There's probably more on what happened with Storm Connections, but I feel like we let it go on for too long until we feel like it's boring for us, you know? And another thing is, with even Jujutsu Curse Clash and JJK Curse Clash, it's again coming out in a few weeks, and I can't lie, everything that they shown us looks so janky that J Stars look better. I can't lie, yes, J Stars does look better. The characters look so out of place, the combats look sluggish. Every character feels like they have like a little bit to a jank in their combos and things like that. And people are okay with this because they think it's gonna be their only JJK game, you know? It makes me sad that we're getting games like this. Before, we used to have games like, when I was younger, we used to like have games like right after Dragon Ball Z show, I mean episode of like, you know, oh shit, like, you know, Cellix just fought Goku, and we can go play Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and, you know, brawl out there. Or even either some of the younger Naruto games like Storm 1 or Curse Clash, I mean, not Curse Clash, Clash of Ninjas, the Storm Chronicles, things like this. Games like that have so many attention to details, original stories, gameplay that was not so dog water that it makes me sad. Because, you know, in like what, 2-3 years, when you want to have a play a JJK game, when like the anime is all said and done, we gotta play Curse Clash 1 or 2. Does that sound like a good time to you? Oh, who remembers Jump Force, right? Jump Force is this ugly looking game. I also played that on my channel because Giorno was the last DLC and it was gone. But even with games like Jump Force, it looks very terrible, very jank. The particles just look overwhelming, and they didn't make a design that goes well with every character. Like, you can have like people like, you know, I'm trying to think of someone that actually didn't look like dog water. It's pretty hard. Ronoa Kenshin, you know, he didn't look too terrible. And then you have someone like Frieza or Boo with teeth, looks terrible. And I want our games to look better, play better, be a better game. Now, we feel like I'm hating on these games because they look so ugly, and I think they're playing right. And two of these games that I'm talking about, Curse Clash and the Hunter x Hunter game, aren't even out yet. It's because they're predictable. It's predictable how terrible, I mean, how much they don't care about these games. Like, for example, you even know there's a Black Clover game that came out, Quartet Knights? I bet you didn't, because who does? A games like that, it was kind of like an Overwatch type game where you do objectives and things like that. Pretty interesting, but nothing. Another game, Tokyo Ghoul. Oh man, look, a Tokyo Ghoul game. I like Tokyo Ghoul. I'm sad that the anime got cucked like terribly, but even that game, terrible in the way it looked. And now we have like damn near everything. Now, I feel like the only kind of exception to this rule, kind of, because has live service curse, is the new My Hero game that came out, which I found fairly fun for a person that isn't the biggest My Hero fan, but even I can admit it's pretty fun. But then it has the live service and gotcha elements where, hey, you want to play this character? Summon like 20 times to get a chance to do it. Hey, you think this character is OD busted? Or like, this hero can do nothing compared to the other ones? Well, wait 12 weeks for a nerf and maybe they'll be playable. Games like this makes it very hard for people that enjoy anime to enjoy these games. Like, the only games I feel like are really, really amazing when it comes to this is excuse me, it's my voice kind of hurts a little bit. I feel like the only one that excuses rule is Fighters, because it's a really good, very balanced, very fleshed out fighting game. But it's been like over 5 years since that game came out. We have to grow better than this, And I don't like that we have to accept these mediocre or terrible games just because they have our favorite characters in them, you know? And if you feel like I'm being too harsh on these games, please leave a comment, I want to hear if for a person that consumes these games, having fun with these games, if you like the way they are, if you feel like there's not much you want changed in the way, but I want something better, Instead of wanting games like Curse Clash or Seven Deadly Sins games, I want something great. A game that we can think years later on instead of something to bide our time waiting for the new season, And maybe not all games are like this, like anime games, but I feel like they are right now. I feel like we're at the point where we're accepting whatever they give us because it's our favorite anime. Hey, you want to watch I'm trying to think of a new anime. It's like Solo Leveling. Hey, here's a terrible game. Hey, you want a One Punch Man game because you love the 2 seasons of the anime because how funny the characters are, how dynamic the fighting is. Here's a game where who made a One Punch Man fighting game? Like Saitama's the strongest guy. And if you're trying to be like anything else, you're just kind of trolling. Things like that. It's pretty weird. And that's all I have to really say. It's Eli here. And if you do have an opinion or you like to agree or you want to see how these games are actually improved on instead of being just slop that comes out every year, actually, I could tell you some ways these games can be improved. For example, maybe not every, shonen or anime has to be a fighting game. Maybe some like Detective Conan or anything like that can be. Oh, excuse me. It's pretty loud outside. Maybe there's like some shows that can be more like a detective thing or a mystery thing or visual novel. Because visual novels like Danganronpa does pretty well. Why can't shows where their whole basis is a mystery can be like Danganronpa, or games that are more games where you actually do want to fight, make it actually as fluid as people feel about, the show. I want to, the anime looks 20 million times better than anything the game can ever give us. And meanwhile, when we play like Budokai Tenkaichi, it feels like we're actually in the moment. We're actually fighting like Dragon Ball characters. We're doing beam clashes. We're teleporting. We're doing the blocks right. We're deflecting blasts. Like so much things we can do in these games that they limit us in these new ones. It's weird, And for other games, I don't know. Like good luck, I guess. I don't know what, like, I guess Shonen's like the one that get pumped out or things like this, but it feels like every time we get these games, it's terrible. And I don't like that. I really want us to have a better way to enjoy these games because I'm tired of these games like Naruto Storm Connections. Remember, everybody used to say it's a Storm clone. And now the Storm isn't even really holding up on his own legs. It makes me sad that, yes, the way that we're going, games like this isn't going to hold out much longer if we keep doing this. It's weird. It's sad. And I want us to do better. Now, If you've seen my Breakers video, then you know that even though I think the game's pretty terrible, queue times are longer than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're the longest queue times I've ever seen in my life. 15 minutes straight just to be a survivor that dies in 5 minutes. That I like the concept. I like that there's something different because no one really thought, hey, what if you put like a regular dude in like Dragon Ball Z? You're kind of fucked, aren't you? But you know, other things like, hey, maybe if you're like Ted or like I'm trying to think of something. Like, hey, maybe there's a game where you're a Naruto character, like maybe your own OC because people love OCs. That you're just doing that these C through A rank missions that people really don't see in Naruto. Like maybe you gotta figure out what happens in this village. Maybe you gotta escort people. Maybe you gotta like smuggle things to different nations or fight ninja. Like things like that sound so much fun. Imagine that with friends instead of just getting another fighting game. Like things like that, you know? So I hope you come to this video to realize that yeah, maybe these games are not the best for us, and maybe there's a better future for these games if we actually tell them that we want something different or something better than what we're getting, you know? I feel like we could do way better, 20 times better. But yes, I'm Eli. I'm out. If you like this video, if you want to, you know, be in the conversation of where anime games are going, if you like it or not, you know, comment section's always down below. Talk about it, like and subscribe. If you like this, I will definitely have more videos like this because I feel like a lot of people are speaking out about it lately, and I love that. But we gotta keep it going, you know. And I'm out. Peace.